The pregnancy test slipped from Ella Petrov's fingers as she watched her ex-husband kiss another woman outside his tower. For one breath, Manhattan went silent. Then the traffic came back, horns and sirens and the wet hiss of tires on late autumn streets, and Ella realized she was still standing on the sidewalk with a cheap pharmacy bag and a folded lab printout that said positive in black ink. She had rehearsed this moment for 3 days. She had told herself she would be calm. She would call Keller Thorne, the top partner at Thorne and Hart LLP, the man who had once sworn he would never let her walk alone, and she would say, "I am pregnant." She would keep her voice steady. She would not beg. She would not accuse. She would not mention the divorce papers that still smelled like fresh toner. Instead, she watched him lean down, his suit perfect, his hand gentle at the back of a young woman's neck. The woman laughed, bright and soft, and rose on her toes to meet him. A scarf slipped on her shoulder. Keller adjusted it with the same careful touch he used to give Ella when she was cold. Ella's stomach clenched. Her palm went to her lower belly on instinct, as if she could shield the tiny life from the sight. A month ago, she had signed away his last name. A minute ago, she had been on her way to tell him he would be a father. Now she could not even breathe. A street lamp stood behind her. When she stepped back, her shoulder hit the metal pole with a dull clang. Keller's had snapped up. The woman beside him paused, her smile fading. Keller's eyes found Ella, and for a heartbeat his face was not the polished mask the city knew. It was raw shock, the kind she had not seen since the night she packed her bags. "Ella." His voice carried across the sidewalk, rougher than it should have been. "What are you doing here?" Ella bent fast, grabbed the printout before the wind could take it, and shoved it into her purse. She forced her chin up, because pride was all she had left. The young woman stepped forward first. She was pretty, 20-something, hair glossy, cheeks pink from the cold. "Hi," she said, polite, almost shy. "I am Sophia White, Keller's cousin." Cousin. Ella tasted the word like poison. She turned her eyes back to Keller. "You work fast." Sophia's brows knitted. "I am sorry, I do not think we have met, and I do not want to be rude, but dash." Ella cut her off. "Do not worry, I am leaving." Keller took one step toward her. Sophia's hand slid up to his sleeve, as if she had done it 1,000 times. Maybe she had. "Keller," Ella said, and the name hurt. "Tell me you did not look at me for 3 years and then decide I was disposable in 30 days. His jaw tightened. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. That silence was the same silence that had ended their marriage. Ella felt heat behind her eyes. She hated that she was about to cry in public. She hated that she still wanted him to reach for her. She backed away, heart pounding. Her purse knocked against her hip. The lab sheet inside crinkled. Keller's gaze flicked down, caught the corner of white paper. His face changed again, the color draining. He stared at her midsection like he could see through fabric. "Ella," he said, low. "Are you dash? Do not." Her voice cracked. She steadied it with effort. "Do not ask me anything that you do not deserve an answer to." Sophia looked between them, confusion turning to alarm. "Keller, is she dash?" Ella laughed, short and bitter. "He will figure it out later. He always does." She turned toward the crosswalk. A taxi splashed water near her feet. She did not flinch. "Keller," she heard behind her. She kept walking. She did not look back. She told herself that if she looked back, she would stop, and if she stopped, she would fall apart. At the curb, she paused, because her abdomen cramped, a sharp pinch that made her inhale hard. Fear rose up, cold and clean. Her hand tightened around her purse strap. "Hang on," she whispered to the life inside her. "Hang on, baby, I have you." Behind her, Keller's voice rose again, urgent now. "Ella, please wait." She stepped into the street as the light changed. A car horn blared. Someone shouted. She kept going, because she could not do anything else. From the tower steps, Keller lunged forward, but Sophia caught him with both hands. "Stop," she hissed under her breath. "If you chase her right now, she will think you are proving her right." Keller froze, fists clenched, eyes locked on Ella's retreating back. His throat worked like he was swallowing glass. I saw the paper, he said, almost to himself. I saw the word. Sophia went pale. Positive? He did not answer. He took a slow breath and his face went hard, the way it did in court when he was about to destroy someone. Get in the car, he said to Sophia. We are not going home. Sophia blinked. Where are we going? Keller stared at the street where Ella had disappeared. To fix what I broke, he said. Even if she hates me for it. Ella moved 3 neighborhoods away. She changed her gym. She routed her email through a new assistant. She told herself distance would make the ache smaller. It did not. Some pain lived in the body and hers had Keller's name written into her ribs. The first week after she moved, her landlord called her, nervous. Ms. Petrov, a company wants to upgrade the building security. Cameras, key FOBS, a night guard, no charge. Ella stared at her phone. Why would anyone do that for free? I do not know. The landlord admitted. They said it was a community safety initiative. Ella hung up and looked out her window. Across the street, a black SUV idled too long at a red light. The driver wore a cap, face hidden. The SUV rolled on. She told herself she was paranoid. She told herself she was pregnant, hormonal, exhausted. Then her client problem vanished. The gallery board that had threatened to sue her for breach of contract sent a one-line email. We withdraw. We apologize for the misunderstanding. Her assistant called her into the office, eyes wide. They just backed off. Completely. Ella's stomach sank. There were only a few people in New York who could make a board of wealthy donors swallow their pride overnight. Keller was one of them. She slammed her laptop shut. A wave of nausea rose. She ran to the sink, retched, and gripped the counter until the room stopped spinning. That night, a thermal bag appeared outside her door. Inside were bland crackers, ginger tea, a small jar of soup, and a card with neat handwriting. If you cannot keep anything down, call Dr. Chen. He is discreet. The number was below. No name. No signature. Ella tore the card in half. Then she tore it again. She threw the food away, and then she sat on the kitchen floor and cried until her chest hurt. Lena Cole found her the next morning. Lena was the friend who had watched Ella fall in love, and then watched Ella walk out. She carried coffee and a bag of oranges. Okay. Lena said, taking in the red eyes and the trash bag by the door. Talk to me. There is nothing to talk about. Lena set the coffee down slowly. Ella, you are shaking. It is just morning sickness. Lena's gaze dropped to Ella's midsection. Her expression softened, then sharpened. No, she said. That is not just morning sickness. That is a secret. Ella's jaw trembled. She hated that her body betrayed her. She hated that she wanted someone to hold her. I am pregnant, she whispered. Lena swore under her breath. Oh my God. Do not say it like that. Like what? Like it matters? Lena grabbed her hands. It matters. When were you going to tell me? I was going to tell Keller first, Ella said, and the words tasted like failure. Then I saw him with her. Lena exhaled slowly. The cousin? Ella jerked her head up. What? Lena hesitated. Okay, do not bite me. I do not know the whole story, but I saw Keller at a charity thing last week. The girl with him introduced herself as his cousin, Sophia White. Ella's laugh was sharp. You believe her because she smiled at you. I believe her because she was holding a plate of desserts and talking about her aunt's terrible cooking. That is not how a mistress acts. Ella pulled her hands away. Even if she is family, it does not change anything. He still let me walk away. Lena's eyes flashed. He let you walk away because you shoved divorce papers in his face after those photos. Because he cheated. Lena's voice dropped. Did he? Ella went still. The question hit a bruise she had refused to touch. In her mind, the evidence was a wall. In her heart, Keller's silence had always been the crack. I saw the pictures. Ella said, too fast. I saw the messages. I saw the video Marcus sent me. Lena's mouth tightened at the name. Marcus Gray is a snake, she said. I have told you that for years. Ella stared at the floor. Outside, a car door shut. Footsteps passed the hallway, then faded. Someone is watching. Ella whispered. Lena frowned. Who? Ella shrugged, because admitting fear felt like weakness. Maybe Keller. Maybe Marcus. Maybe both. Lena leaned in. If Keller is watching, it might not be to control you. Ella laughed again, bitter. Then what, Lena? To protect a woman he already abandoned. Lena held her gaze. Maybe he did not abandon you. Maybe you were pushed. Ella's throat tightened. She did not want hope. Hope was dangerous. Hope was a knife. That afternoon, Ella's phone buzzed with a blocked number. She almost ignored it. Then a message appeared, short. Do not walk home alone tonight. Please. No name. But she knew the voice that would have written that. Keller, formal even in fear, as if politeness could keep her safe. Ella threw the phone onto the couch. Her hands shook as she pressed both palms to her belly. If you are trying to scare me, she whispered to the empty room. It will not work. But at dusk, when she left the office, she saw the black SUV again. It was parked half a block away, lights off. It was waiting. Ella's breath caught. For the first time since the divorce, the city felt too big to hold her. Sophia White showed up at Ella's gallery office without an appointment. She wore a simple coat, no jewelry, hair pulled back. She looked like someone who wanted to disappear. Ella's assistant tried to stop her. Sophia stepped aside politely, then said, Please tell Ms. Petrov this is about the divorce. She will want to hear it. Ella came out, eyes narrowed. You have 5 minutes. Sophia swallowed. I am sorry. She began. For the other day, I did not know who you were at first, and when I realized, I did not know what to do. Ella folded her arms. You could have let go of him. Sophia's cheeks flushed. I was not trying to stake a claim. Keller is my cousin. My mother is his aunt. I came back from Europe last month. I am staying at his place until I find an apartment. And you thought it was a good idea to cling to him on the sidewalk. Sophia winced. I was cold. He was being kind. That is who he is, even when he tries not to be. Ella scoffed. You do not know him. Sophia's eyes lifted, steady now. I know him better than you think. I saw him after you left. He did not sleep. He did not eat. He stared at the wall like he was waiting to be punished. Ella's stomach twisted. Why are you here? Sophia pulled a small flash drive from her pocket. Because he is running out of time, she said. And because someone is about to hurt you. Ella froze. What are you talking about? Sophia set the drive on the desk. Keller hired a private investigator after the divorce. He thought the cheating evidence was wrong. He found the person who sold the photos. He found the software used to alter the video. He found a recording. Ella stared at the drive like it might bite her. No. Sophia's voice softened. Yes. Marcus Gray forged it. He did it to destroy Keller's reputation, to destabilize his firm, and to get you. He has been obsessed with you since the fundraiser 2 years ago. Ella's skin went cold. She remembered Marcus leaning too close, smiling like he owned the room. She remembered Keller's hand tightening on her waist, protective. He told you that Keller was cheating. Sophia continued. He told you he was helping you. Keller could not deny it at the time because Marcus threatened you. Ella's mouth went dry. Threatened me how? Sophia hesitated, then said. Keller received a message the night you confronted him. A photo of you leaving the gallery. Your car, your license plate. A note that said, one word and she disappears. Ella's knees went weak. She grabbed the edge of the desk. Keller thought if he fought it publicly, Marcus would escalate. Sophia said. So he chose silence. He chose to lose you if it meant you stayed alive. Ella's eyes burned. All those nights she had screamed at Keller. All those days she had called him cold. All those months she had believed he did not care. You should not be telling me this, she whispered. Sophia's jaw trembled. I am telling you because he cannot, she said. He thinks you will never forgive him. He thinks he deserves that. But you deserve the truth. Ella swallowed hard. Why now? Sophia looked toward the window, where rain streaked the glass. Because Marcus knows you are pregnant. Ella's heart stopped. He does. Sophia nodded once. He has people. He follows you. He heard something at your doctor's office. Keller found out 2 days ago. Her voice broke. He has been leaving gifts, food, security because he is terrified. He is trying to build a wall around you without letting you see his face. Ella's hand shook as she reached for the drive. Her fingers hovered above it. If I plug this in, she said, voice thin. And it is a lie dash. It is not a lie. Sophia said quickly. And if you still hate him after, you can hate him with all the facts. Ella closed her hand around the drive. It felt too small to hold a marriage. It felt too heavy to hold her future. Sophia exhaled, relief and fear mixed. One more thing, she said. If Keller calls you, answer. Even if you want to scream, please. Ella looked up, and for the first time she saw the worry behind Sophia's youth. Why? She asked. Sophia's eyes shone. Because he is following you tonight, she said. Not to control you, to keep you alive. The storm hit at sunset. By 8, the streets were rivers. The city lights smeared into a watercolor blur, and the wind shoved rain sideways. Ella left her office late, the flash drive heavy in her pocket. She had watched the first video on it twice. Marcus laughing. A man on speaker describing how easy it was to fake hotel footage. A second file, Keller's investigator listing payments, dates, names. The truth had cracked her open. Now she sat behind the wheel, hands wide on the steering wheel, trying to breathe. She wanted to call Keller. She wanted to scream at him for not telling her. She wanted to sob and apologize and collapse into his arms. She did none of those things. Instead, she drove, because momentum was safer than emotion. At the first stoplight, a car slid in behind her too close. Its headlights were off, despite the dark. Ella's skin prickled. She turned right. The car turned right. She changed lanes. It followed. Her pulse hammered. She told herself it could be a coincidence. In New York, everything was a coincidence until it was not. She sped up. The car sped up. The next intersection flashed yellow. Ella braked, then accelerated through. The car surged after her. A jolt of terror shot through her, sharp enough to cut through nausea. Her hand flew to her belly. Please, she whispered. Please be okay. Her phone was in the cup holder. No service icon blinked in mockery. The car behind her bumped her bumper. Not hard enough to crash, just enough to send a message. Ella gasped. The car bumped her again, harder. Her tires skidded on the wet. Her car fishtailed. She gripped the wheel, eyes wide. Ahead, the guardrail loomed. She swerved and barely missed it, heart slamming. The car behind her surged, aiming for her rear quarter panel. A third hit. Metal screamed. Ella's car spun and slammed into the guardrail anyway. Airbags exploded in white powder. Her breath punched out of her. For a moment there was only the wail of rain and the ticking of her engine. Ella coughed, hands shaking, ears ringing. Then she saw movement. 2 men got out of the car behind her, hoods up, faces hidden. One held a long object that glinted. A blade. Ella's blood went cold. She yanked at her seatbelt, fingers clumsy. It stuck for one horrible second, then snapped free. She tried the door. It opened an inch, then jammed. Outside, boots splashed closer. A fist hammered her window. Open up. A voice growled. Now. Ella fumbled for the door lock. It was already locked. Her breath came in fast bursts. She reached for the horn and leaned on it. The sound was weak in the storm, swallowed by rain. The man lifted the blade and slammed the handle against the glass. A crack spread like lightning. Ella screamed. Headlights flared from the side street. A black SUV surged into view like a beast. It did not slow. It rammed the attacker's car at an angle, throwing it sideways. The men stumbled back, cursing. The SUV door flew open. Keller Thorne jumped out into the rain. He wore no coat. His hair was soaked. His suit was ruined, clinging to him. In his hand was a tire iron, and his eyes were murder. Step away from her, he said, voice low and lethal. The men froze. One laughed, harsh. Thorne, you always have to be the hero. Keller did not answer. He advanced, tire iron raised. Ella stared through the cracked glass, stunned. He had been there. All those nights, that SUV. He had been watching. The first man lunged. Keller swung, connecting with the man's forearm. The blade clattered to the pavement. The man held. The second attacker rushed Keller from behind. Keller pivoted, slammed the tire iron into his ribs. The man went down, gasping. For one breath, Ella thought it was over. Then a third figure emerged from the shadows near the guardrail. Ella had not seen him in the rain. He moved like someone trained, calm and fast. He held a knife low hidden until the last second. Keller! Ella screamed, even though her voice was weak. Keller turned at the sound. His eyes met hers. In that instant, all the unsaid things were there, raw and furious and terrified. The knife came down. Keller did not dodge away from Ella. He stepped between. He took the blow. Ella saw it in a flash, the blade sinking into his side, the dark bloom of blood spreading through soaked fabric. Keller's face tightened. He grunted, but did not fall. He drove his shoulder into the attacker, knocking him back. The attacker swung again. Keller caught his wrist, twisting hard. The knife fell. Keller hit him with the tire iron, and the man collapsed. Keller staggered. His hand went to his side, slick with blood. Rain poured down like a curtain. Ella shoved at her door again. It gave, metal groaning, and she stumbled out, almost slipping on the wet pavement. Keller! She cried, reaching him. He turned, breathing hard, eyes wild. Get back in the car. He snapped. Stay behind me. I am not leaving you. He swayed. For a moment, the ruthless lawyer was gone, replaced by a man holding himself together by will alone. His gaze dropped to her belly. His hand lifted, trembling, and hovered there without touching. Are you hurt? He demanded. Ella shook her head, sobbing. No, I am fine. But you dash. A siren wailed in the distance, far away. Someone must have heard the crash. Keller's knees buckled. Ella caught him, arms around his shoulders. He pressed his forehead to hers, rain mixing with her tears. His voice came out broken. Do not let them touch my child. He whispered. Please. Ella made a sound like a choke. Her heart cracked open. Stop talking like that. She begged. You are going to be fine. Keller's mouth curved, faint. I am sorry. He breathed. For all of it. Then his eyes rolled back, and his weight collapsed into her arms. The hospital lights were too bright. They made everything look unreal, like a stage set for grief. Ella sat in a plastic chair outside surgery, her clothes still wet, her hands stained with Keller's blood. Lena arrived first, hair frizzed from rain, eyes wide with panic. Tell me he is alive. Lena said, voice shaking. He was breathing. Ella whispered. He was talking, and then he dashed. Lena hugged her hard. Ella clung back like she was drowning. Sophia arrived 20 minutes later, face white, hands trembling. She stopped when she saw Ella, and a sob broke from her throat. I am sorry. Sophia said. I am so sorry. I should have stayed with him. Ella looked up, eyes hollow. It was Marcus. She said. It was always Marcus. Sophia nodded, tears spilling. The police are looking for him. Keller gave them his name before the ambulance came. He told them everything. Ella's stomach churned. She pressed a hand to her belly and tried to breathe. Hours passed. Doctors walked by in blue caps. Phones rang. A vending machine hummed. Time felt like a cruel joke. At dawn, a surgeon came out, mask pulled down, eyes tired. Ms. Petrov? He asked. Ella stood so fast she swayed. Yes. The patient is stable. The surgeon said. The blade missed his heart by a narrow margin. There was internal bleeding, but we controlled it. He will need time. He is strong, but he lost a lot of blood. Ella's knees nearly gave out. Lena caught her elbow. Can I see him? Ella asked, voice raw. In a few minutes. The surgeon said. And Ms. Petrov dash. He glanced at her belly, then back up. Try to rest. Stress is not good for either of you. Ella nodded, throat tight. When they finally let her in, Keller lay pale against white sheets, chest bandaged, tubes and monitors whispering. His lashes rested on his cheeks. His mouth was slightly open, like he had been about to say something and never finished. Ella sat beside him and took his hand. His fingers were warm. Alive. She pressed her forehead to his knuckles. I watched the files. She whispered. I know now. I know you did not cheat. I know you were trying to protect me. A tear slipped down her cheek and fell onto his skin. I hated you. She admitted, voice shaking. I hated you so much because it was easier than missing you. She inhaled, a sob catching. And I am sorry. I am so sorry I did not see you. His hand did not move. The monitor beeped steady. Ella swallowed hard. Do you want to know something cruel? She said, forcing a weak laugh. I came to your building to tell you about the baby, and then I saw you with Sophia, and I thought you replaced me. Her voice cracked. I thought our whole marriage was nothing to you. She lifted his hand and placed it gently on her belly. Even through fabric and bandage, it felt like a bridge. This is your baby, she whispered. This is us. You are not allowed to leave me with this alone. Sophia stood in the doorway, quiet, eyes wet. Lena leaned against the wall, arms crossed, trying not to cry. Ella kept talking, because silence had hurt them once, and she refused to let it hurt them again. She told Keller about the first nausea, the first fear, the first kick she thought she felt. She told him about throwing away the food he had left, and how she still tasted the ginger tea in her mind. She told him she was terrified. She told him she still loved him, even when she tried to bury it. At noon, a police officer arrived with news. Marcus Gray had been arrested at a private hangar in New Jersey. He had a ticket to leave the country. He had cash, fake IDs, and a gun in his bag. Ella listened, numb. Justice felt small compared to the bandage on Keller's chest. That night, Ella slept in the chair by his bed, her hand in his, her other palm on her belly. She dreamed of rain and headlights and Keller's voice saying, "Do not let them touch my child." She woke when his fingers tightened. Her head snapped up. Keller's eyes were open, unfocused at first, then finding her. Ella. He rasped, voice dry. She burst into tears. I am here. She said quickly. I am right here. His gaze slid to her belly, then back to her face. His eyes filled with something that looked like relief and grief mixed together. The baby. He whispered. Are you both okay? Ella nodded hard, laughing through tears. We are okay. You saved us. Keller's throat worked. I did not save anything. He said, weak. I ruined you. I let you think. Ella leaned in, close enough that he could feel her breath. No. She said, firm. You let me live. That is not ruining me. She swallowed. But we are not doing silence anymore. Promise me. Keller's eyes closed for a moment, pain flickering across his face. Then he opened them and nodded once. I promise. He whispered. Keller healed slowly. He hated the weakness, hated the dependence, hated that nurses told him to stay still. Ella stayed anyway. She brought him books, then took them away when he tried to read legal briefs. She brushed his hair back when sweat dampened his forehead. She argued with him when he tried to sit up too early. Lena called it karma. Sophia called it love. One morning, Keller asked Ella to open the drawer of his bedside table. Inside was a folded envelope, edges worn like it had been handled too many times. What is this? Ella asked. Keller's voice was low. My statement. He said. The one I wrote the night you left. He swallowed. I never sent it. Ella unfolded the pages. His handwriting was precise, controlled, and then it broke into messy lines. Ella. If you are reading this, I failed you. I wanted to tell you everything, but I was afraid the truth would put you in danger. I chose silence because I thought I could take the punishment alone. I was wrong. I am sorry for every tear you cried without me. I am sorry for every night you slept without feeling safe. If you ever forgive me, I will spend my life proving you were never disposable. Ella's vision blurred. She looked up, throat tight. You wrote this. She whispered. Keller stared at the ceiling, jaw clenched like he was bracing for a verdict. I did not deserve to say it to your face, he said. Ella reached for his hand. You should have let me decide what I could bear, she said, voice shaking. And I should have asked you once more before I signed. Her chin lifted. We both did damage. Keller turned his head toward her. His eyes were dark, exhausted, honest. I found out you were pregnant from Dr. Chen, he admitted. He called me because he thought I should know. I told him not to tell you. I thought if I showed up, you would run. His mouth twisted. I was right. Ella took a slow breath. I ran because I thought you chose someone else. Keller flinched. Sophia. She is family. She is a good kid, but she has terrible timing. Ella almost smiled. She saved us, she said quietly. She brought me the truth. Keller's eyes closed. I owe her. He murmured. I owe you more. When he was cleared to leave the hospital, Keller did not go back to his tower. He went to Ella's new apartment, because she refused to move again, and because he wanted to earn the right to stand in her space. The first night, he slept on the couch. Ella slept in her bed alone, and the distance between them felt like a canyon. At 2 a.m, Ella woke to the sound of him whispering in his sleep. No, he said, rough. Not her, not the baby. Ella walked to the living room barefoot. Keller was curled on the couch, sweat on his brow, fingers gripping the blanket like he was holding onto a life raft. She sat on the edge of the couch and touched his shoulder. He jerked awake, eyes wild, then softened when he saw her. Sorry, he said, voice hoarse. You do not get to apologize for nightmares, Ella said. She hesitated, then added. Come to bed, if you want. Keller swallowed hard. He moved like he was afraid she would change her mind. In the bedroom he lay stiff at first, as if his body did not know how to be near her without breaking something. Ella turned on her side. Her hand found his in the dark. This does not erase the pain, she said softly. But I do not want to heal without you. Keller's breath shuddered. I do not deserve you, he whispered. Ella squeezed his hand. Then earn us, she said. Months passed. Winter melted into early spring. Ella's belly rounded. Keller learned to cook bland meals without burning them. He learned to speak before fear built walls. He learned that love was not just protection, but presence. One afternoon, they stood in the courthouse hallway where their divorce had been finalized. The same marble floors. The same smell of old paper. Ella's fingers intertwined with Keller's. Do we have to do this here? Ella asked, voice trembling. Keller looked at her, a faint smile in his eyes. No, he said. But I want to replace the memory. He pulled a small box from his pocket. It was simple, no diamonds screaming for attention, just a clean band that matched the one she used to wear. Ella stared, breath caught. Keller, she whispered. He sank to one knee even though his side still ached. His hand shook, not from pain, but from emotion. Ella Petrov, he said, voice steady despite the tremor. I let fear make me silent, and silence broke you. He swallowed. I cannot rewrite the past, but I can choose you, out loud, every day from now on. His eyes flicked to her belly. And I can choose our child with the same certainty. He held the ring up. Will you marry me again? Ella pressed a hand to her mouth. Tears spilled. She nodded, unable to speak at first. Then she managed one word, the simplest and the hardest. Yes. Keller stood, pulled her into his arms carefully, mindful of her belly. He kissed her hair, a silent promise. Outside, the city carried on. Inside, two people who had been torn apart by lies stood in the wreckage and built a home. Epilogue: the sound of a second chance. On a warm June morning, Ella went into labor. Keller was with her, white-knuckled and terrified, refusing to leave her side. When their daughter arrived, small and loud, Keller cried without shame. He held the baby against his chest and looked at Ella like she was the only truth left in the world. Hi, he whispered to the child. I am your father. I am here. I am staying. Ella reached for them both. Her heart ached in a new way, full and bright. Later, when the sun set and the hospital room quieted, Keller traced the scar on his side with his fingertips. Ella watched him, remembering rain and blades and his body in front of hers. You saved us. She said again, soft. Keller shook his head. We saved each other. He replied. He looked at her, eyes steady. And this time, there is no silence. Ella leaned in and kissed him, slow and sure. Outside the window, the city lights glittered. Inside, their little family breathed as one.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.